Hi, everybody. John Farian here, and my buddy Rick. Rick, where are you? You're over there? Or are you over there? No, you're over there. There you go. Oh yeah, there you are. Rick, Rick, you still
What?
to this day are the most frequented guest ever on Live Large Universe / John Farian Live. Like, what is this, episode 7 for you now?
I think it's got to be seven. Seven's kind of my lucky number, so this is going to be a good one. I can
Yeah,
feel it
yeah.
already.
I can tell too. I know this is going to be good. So, well, everybody is tuning in here and getting in line. So, we're going to talk to Rick here a little bit about how his sled season's going so far. But all of you, as you're coming in, make sure you're letting us know where you're watching from. Go in the chat, say hi. But, Rick, it is January 7th today, right? 2024. Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah, happy New Year! Happy New Year to you.
And
Merry New Year.
January is like, mid season for snowmobile season. So I'm certain you've got like just tons and tons of trail miles on your sled over in Wisconsin where you live. Like, how's the season going there in Wisconsin so far?
Well, we got some snow today. I think it was like about a half of an inch. It's probably the
Oh,
same up north. Our lakes aren't even frozen over. I have more miles on my sleds with it being on my sled deck, driving around the city, getting ready because I'm going to be leaving tonight to head out to South Fork, Colorado. I got more miles on my sled deck than I have my sleds driving them around in Wisconsin. Wisconsin and Michigan is really bad, but
I don't
we
know.
hear that we have a snowstorm coming, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who we need to talk to. Like, literally 2 weeks in a row in church, there's been songs in the hymnal that I've been reading that have the word snow in them. So I personally have been praying for snow for at least 2 weeks now. How have you been doing? Have you been praying for snow over on your side too?
I've been praying. I've been watching Frozen. I've been singing the "Let It Snow" song a bunch of times. My daughter's thinking I'm crazy, but it's like we're doing whatever we can to sit there and
All
get some
right.
snow here. And it's like I hate to say it's been really tough for like a lot of the people up north that are that make a living in the snowmobiling season.
Yeah, no, it's been rough.
So
Yeah, like all the professional guides that I know, even the avalanche education, most of it's still going off without a hitch. Too bad,
yep.
As long as they have some snow, they can do it. But the snowmobile guiding, folks like Matt Enns, Dan
But
Adams, Grant, like I think everybody's behind this season on getting started. So
yes, I know. I know. I did get my first ride was on December 15th though. I was out in Alpine, Wyoming with my buddy Scott, and then we
there
headed
you
out
go.
to halfway Oregon to go take an ITC course for Aries. So
All right, all right. Well, we got to get to business here, Rick. So we got people coming in.
business.
They're going to let us know where they're watching from, and let us know in the chat if you guys have prayed for snow yet this season. If you haven't, let's see little prayer hands in the chat right now,
Well,
like this, right?
you know if it's anybody from the Midwest that they're going to be watching the show because they have nothing else better to go and do because
I
they're not
know. Well, your
sledding.
your friend your friend from Snowmobile, Wisconsin, is the first one in the chat here. He's actually going to be
Uh,
our guest next weekend. We're going to bring him on, so we'll have
Is
him
that
on too.
Dylan? Is that Dylan's dad?
I don't know who Dylan is, but if I remember right, it's David is his name. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
David.
I think Dylan from Boondock Nation. That's what I think.
Gotcha,
I think
gotcha.
it's his dad.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. I haven't connected those dots. Let us know in the chat, Snowmobile, Wisconsin, if that's you. So, all right, let's get to business here. Anybody who shares the show out, you can be entered in to win the Mountain Lab saws. So, Mountain Lab is sponsoring the show again here. There's two chainsaws here. One's literally a backcountry chainsaw. It's a handheld chainsaw, manual powered one, and I use those all the time when I'm out riding in the backcountry when the trees are across the trail and we got to clean the trails. Mountain Lab folding handsaw also. So both of those will get shipped out to you if you're the winner if you've shared this out. So go ahead and get in on sharing that out. And Rick, I'm gonna bring that back down, and let's get started with this little show. So, for
Deal.
those who don't already know who Mr. Rick Shircel is, tell us a little bit about yourself, so that folks can get to know a little bit about who you are, what you're about. So,
Well, to start off, I've been on there a couple of times, so in case you've never seen me before, I'm actually a firefighter paramedic for Milwaukee County. I'm a tactical EMS. Also, I help fire departments and police departments mitigate active shooters, and we teach them how to go do that. And I am the owner of Altitude Sickness. What we go and we do is we build first aid kits for extreme sports. They're sold by a couple of the big names out in the industry. Pretty happy
yep,
about that.
yep.
And about
Hey
I think
Rick,
it was
hey
like
Rick, Rick.
yes,
I know
yes.
you're angry about the no snow situation, but I've got to ask you, quit pounding your hands on the desk. It's really disappointing. It's really annoying.
Am I bouncing it?
You're bouncing everything. You're making noise and stuff too, and I know it's because you're so angry because there's no
It
snow. So,
is. I have anger issues.
all right, keep going. So, tell us more about yourself.
But
Sorry.
a couple years ago, somebody, I think it might have been a John Faring and a Brad Lundstedt, uh, had me asked me to go and start teaching like a course that was going to be based on snowmobilers and first aid. We ended up coming up with a course called Safer Snowmobiles Approach to First Aid Emergency Response. This will be the third season I'll be teaching it. Actually, when I get off this podcast, I'm going to be leaving, go to South Fork, Colorado, and teaching out with Matt Ince. So I'm pretty
Very good.
excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, you've been in the first aid, rescue, firefighting business for a big portion, if not most of your life, right?
Uh, Pretty much for the last 12 years, I've been a firefighter and stuff like
Yep.
that. But it's something. I was a big drag racer. I was always really. They had a
Yeah.
safety safari. I always wanted to go and do that.
Very good.
Seems like I have a bunch of friends, including John Farron, that these guys. We have a problem that with the Midwest and like out west. I keep saying it's like trees out altitude is the same as a tree that's at sea level. So
Yep.
we hit things. So I
There you
think
go.
it was a good time to start trying to curb the accident and death rate of people that are snowmobiling.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what it's based on. But it's a class that's you can use for every day. It's just like we just base it for snowmobilers because I like snowmobiling
Yep.
and I
Absolutely.
hit a lot of stuff too.
Well, don't do that. That's not part of the
No,
program that we got to do. So, hey, the main goal we want to have for tonight's show here is to let everybody know there's some really exciting opportunities for people to get some training this winter coming up, and it's coming up if I remember. I'm going to kind of tee it up, but I'm going to have you walk through it in
sure,
detail. So, Sealy Lake, Montana, at the Rich's Family Guest Ranch, and in partnership with yourself, Rick Shircel, who's going to
right,
do the Safer course. You also have Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, and he's got a bunch of avalanche courses too. Now, I'll just throw it
right,
up there here too. Is like 2 years ago, I attended an event where we did your course, Brian's avalanche courses, and some riding stuff as well. So tell us this year about the dates of the event. Confirm for
sure.
us where it's going to give us a little bit more info on Rich Ranch, and then walk through these courses. And if you happen to miss something along the way, I'll slide in and help you out along the way because I've got notes here too on what we're going to be talking about
Perfect.
tonight. So
So and like John was saying, is we're gonna from like January 28th all the way to actually February 3rd. There's going to be a series of classes going to be held at the Rich Ranch, and that's by Silly Lake, Montana. It is a beautiful location. You get to ride in, ride out. I've never been to Sealy Lake besides the last couple of times I've been out there to take my Erie 2 class I took there, and I got to teach a safer course. But from January 28th to January 30th, Tyler's Backcountry Awareness is going to be running an Erie Level 1 course. On the 31st, that'll be also like a safer course, which will be the course that I'll be teaching, but also a rescue course. And then from February 1st to February 3rd, that'll be an Area 2 course. And it's like a really good opportunity if you're trying to if you're looking for a place to go with like-minded people that are looking to be safety and trying to get up their game as far as like getting their avalanche education. This is a great opportunity because you're going to have a ton of people there. Last year we had Boondock Nation there. They took an Area 1 course. I think they took a rescue course. They took my safer course, and they also took a riding clinic. And it was just a great experience. I mean, and I got to hang out with the Boondock Nation guys. I love those guys. So it was a great experience for me. I'm from the Midwest. It was kind of a big deal for me. I know you guys out west may think that's not that big deal, but they're kind of they were actually the first people I even talked about my starting a business and stuff like that. So they've been a big supporter of mine since day
yeah.
one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, for somebody who is considering taking some of these training classes, let's talk about somebody who, if they've never taken any trainings at all before, whether it be Erie trainings or your class or whatever, which of those classes would you say they should be thinking about first, right? What classes are they eligible, I guess, for is what I'm really getting
Well,
at is, can they take a safer class without any previous experience or
right.
any other trainings? Tell us about
And
that.
the good thing about the safer courses is it's not it's not a sanctioned course by area and like that, so it's not like you need to go take a rescue course to go to take an Area 2 course.
Yeah.
The safer courses is for basic riders and stuff like that that want to sit there and they want to learn CPR, how to remove helmets, C-spine stabilization,
Yeah.
how to stop the bleed. We talk about like I'm sorry, like triage and stuff like that, and either we stay or we play or we low and go. That's what we kind of call it.
Yeah.
And I keep saying it's like we try to sit there and set you up so it's going to be like a victim rescue, not a body recovery.
Yeah.
And people kind of say it's like a post avalanche rescue course, and we go through like a rescue, and we take the experiences that you have through other courses, and we bring that together with this course. So
Yeah.
I'll do like a shallow burial, and I have these avalanche dummies that are actually CPR dummies, and
They're pretty cool.
they have a broken arm, and I make you go and you treat it, and then
Yeah.
you have to do radio communications to go and bring in the SARS team.
Yeah.
You have to deal with hypothermia. I actually make you go and build a fire and see what it's
Yeah.
like, not how long it's going to take to do it.
So,
But the
so,
other,
so rumor has it that you've named your avalanche victim dummy John. Is that true?
Yeah.
Your best dummy is named John.
I didn't name it. That was like my popular vote. But we have two of them, so we're trying to figure out what the next name is going to be for the other one. I'll let you name the next one since you got named after the first.
Oh, okay. I'll think about it.
Yeah. But if
you
anything,
just have everybody put in the post of what they want to name the second.
Oh, there you go.
dummy,
Hey,
and
let's
then
do
we'll
that as a contest. Let's do it, like in the comments. So Rick has two dummies. So I'm dummy number 1, and he needs to name dummy number 2. They're his
Right.
avalanche transition dummy. So let us know in the comments if you have a recommendation. So Judith is a good name, so we could go with that. There's some more. We'll read those here in a minute. But so.
You'll be happy to know that John has been saved multiple times now.
Yeah, I'm here. John and Judith. I think they're getting really close to Edith. We don't want to call it Edith. Don't call the dummy Edith. Edith is not a dummy. So
the Punch and Judy show.
But there you go. So I've taken the safer course, and it was great. And I think whether it's an avalanche, post avalanche, or if it's just any kind of an accident, I mean, heck, you could be on the road going snowmobiling and get in a car accident and have some kind of a tragedy where you need to help, save someone or, splint a broken leg or something. So,
and I think it's been a while since I've been on the show, and I don't know if you knew it, but
last year or like a year and a half ago at a motorcycle rally, because I carried my first aid kit with me, I showed up to a traumatic accident. I was the first person on the scene. Lucky enough, a triage nurse showed up. We performed CPR. We helped the paramedics with them and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that person ended up passing away. But it was like I talked to the family, and it's one of those things that we had the training, we had the tools, we did everything we possibly could for that person, and it kind of gives the family a little bit of peace knowing that somebody was with them when they passed away, and everything was done to go and save that person. And I think that's the big thing. Like when we start talking about these area courses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like with the avalanche one, I'm sorry, the level 1 and the level 2, and it's like everybody kind of thought, and I thought it was the same way. It's like you take a level 1, or you start taking these avalanche courses that's going to kind of like prevent you from going riding where you want to, and it doesn't. It actually opens up so many doors, and it keeps you so much more safer. And that's the big thing. Is like we're out here to go do this sport and ride another day.
Yeah.
And
let me just jump in on that too, because it's something that I'm just super passionate about, and I agree with you 1,000%. I'll elaborate. Is a lot of people, when they don't know anything about avalanche education, I call it ignorance is bliss. They just go out and ride, and they're having a good time, and they don't know any different, and so life is good. And then they go get maybe a first awareness class, and then they're like, oh no, like it's scary out there. I don't know if I should ride everywhere. And like they get a little paranoid, and they get into that paranoia phase. And then they get into a level 1, a companion rescue, a level 2. And as you further your education, you actually get right back into this idea of making riding fun again, because as you go out into the backcountry, you're no longer worried about like, oh my gosh, today is, moderate, considerable or high avalanche danger or extreme danger or whatever it is. It's like you don't have to decide you're going to ride or not ride based on the avalanche conditions. You just simply adjust where you're going to ride and how you ride, and mitigating the risk, right? And so, like, I've told people all the time, like, there's places here in Washington State that if it's a high avalanche danger day, I know where I'm going riding that day. I'm going to I'm gonna go hit some flat meadows and stay away from slope terrain and all that stuff too. But I'm going riding, and it's gonna be an epic ride, right? Because the
You
snow's
know,
gonna be deep, and it's gonna be crazy powder and all that. So
and that's the funny thing because like since I've taken these courses, this is my fourth year now of taking courses through Erie.
yeah,
I'm to the point now that I have actually taken two Erie 1 courses, Erie 2 a rescue, Pro 1, and I just took my ITC course out halfway Oregon. That's why I was out in December.
yeah,
I'm about ready to go in shadow courses, help instruct a bunch of classes, and I want to go and bring that to the Midwest so I can start preparing people out here, not teach like an avalanche course, but teach like a rescue course
yeah,
and teach like a safer course, and then send them out west so they can go and take their Avi 1 courses, their Avi
yeah,
2. And that's why this Rich Ranch thing that's going to be going on at the end of January, the beginning of
yeah,
February, is so kind of huge because you have a group of people that are all like-minded
yeah,
that want to get the education, and it's all
yeah,
in one spot, and that doesn't happen a
yeah.
whole lot.
Yeah, and so the safer course, the companion rescue course, and the Erie Level 1, all three of those trainings do not have any prerequisites, meaning like anybody who's never gone through training, they can go and get into that training right away, and it's a great starting point. Any of those courses are. Erie
Right.
Level 2, you have to go through Erie Level 1 and the companion rescue course in order to be eligible for an Erie 2. So bottom
That's
line
correct.
is there's training available for any rider out there, whether you've already had some avalanche training, if you've had no avalanche training, even if you've taken an Erie Level 1, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago and you haven't done it lately, come back, take an Erie Level 1 again if you want to, right?
Yep.
Like there's no reason not to just to refresh it every couple of years. But
I, I always say because I took that level 1 twice,
yeah,
and it was like for me because like the first time you take it, you're taking it so much.
yeah,
The second time is like I was retaining it more. I knew it was coming up. I had to ask better questions.
yep,
Everything made more sense.
yeah,
So like it's like remedial training and stuff like that. And even like you said, if you haven't taken an avalanche course for a couple of
yeah,
years, take it again. Take a rescue course. I think you should do
yeah,
that every 2 years.
yep. Yep. And
You
so
know,
this handsome, charming guy in front of us here is the one doing the safer course. But remind us one more time here, who's doing the Erie courses in Sealy Lake that week?
so the person that's going to be doing the area courses, that's going to be Brian Lundstedt from
Okay.
Tyler's Backcountry Awareness. He'll be running. Oops, my computer shut down. He'll be running the level 1, the rescue, and the level 2.
Yep.
I believe Carl from the Rich Ranch is going to be like. He's also like one of the people that are in my Pro 1 course. He's become
Awesome.
an avalanche instructor now.
Nice.
I got to go and ride with him for a couple of clinics and stuff like that. He's a great rider. Love him and his wife Shannon.
Yep.
I cannot tell you on how much fun the Rich Ranch is.
Yeah,
The
I
food
mean,
there, it's
the
like
ex-
Capister.
and that's what I want to get into next, like is the Rich Ranch, because like really these classes are great and amazing classes just as they stand alone, right? I mean the Erie classes and
Mm-hmm.
the safer class, but really what pulls it all together and really makes it the full experience is the Rich Ranch. And OMG, I'm telling you, the Rich Ranch is amazing. I've been there now, I think 3 times total. Edith and I actually just this last summer in July stopped in and we got to see Shannon at the Rich Ranch. They invited us to
Right.
join them for lunch. Stopped in and saw Carl down at Crazy's, the rental place where they have sleds in the winter, boat stuff in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rich Ranch alone, just the cabins they have hot tubs there. They have like a family style kitchen cafeteria where they feed everybody. It is like good, that's for sure.
Yep. I got this bad, and it's cool for me because they have a bunch of horses there. I have this habit; I like to pet every kind of animal I see, so I get to go pet horses. So it's just like I said, it was a great experience. And from what I understand, Caleb Kosturki lives in Sealy Lake too, so
He
maybe you'll
does.
run into him.
I actually have done that. When I was there at the event back a couple of years ago, when we went to the snow park, we actually ran into Caleb Kosturki in one of his guided classes that was happening that day,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing some kind of avalanche awareness kind of training in the parking lot before they were going out for their ride that day. So
Right.
absolutely sincerely true, that can happen. You can bump into Caleb, and there's some other guys there from Fresh Built or Freshies Built, I think it's called, or something like that
Sure.
out there. There's another business out there too that those guys are out there.
And I think that's been a thing like throughout this course of the last 4 years of me taking these Erie classes. I have met pro snowboarders, pro skiers, pro snowmobilers, people from every aspect you could possibly think of. And it's just it's really kind of neat because you never know what you're going to run into in these classes. It's fun.
Yep.
It's fun to look. It's fun to go and learn about something that you love to go and do.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
then, like you said, it's setting yourself up for to come back and write again another day.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we should probably wrap up this part of the show here with,
Sure.
the courses and the thing. And I want to let everybody know if they've watched this far, we've got links in the show notes here. You can actually, when you're done watching it, go in there and there's links for Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, which is the website you're going to go to register for all of these classes. So because they can do the safer class registration through that website as well, or how does that work?
You can register right on, and from my understanding, because like they were going to actually close registration for it.
Oh, good call.
They still have spots that are open. They're going to keep it open to the 17th now, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure about it. Brian is actually on top of a mountain right now teaching a class, so it's
Yep.
kind of hard to get a hold of him.
Yep.
He was going to try to be on the show and just kind of let you know what was going to be going on also, but he kind of dictated me to sit there and go and take care of it all. So
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
go
we
and speak
basically
for
got
him.
10 days. Today's the 10th or the 7th, and so we've got 10 days left
Right.
now that people can still register to get in on these classes. Again, I've done them personally. Great experience. Brian Lundstedt from Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, Rick here. Top-notch instructors. You guys are going to have an amazing time. And the thing I think people don't realize is like how much snowmobiling they get to do during these trainings. Right? It's like
Yes.
a lot of times you're riding in and out of the backcountry to get on site to be able to do realistic training scenarios. So guess what? You have to ride your snowmobile to get
Yep.
in and out of the backcountry. So you're going to be having fun even regardless of being quote unquote stuck in trainings all day. They do get plenty of riding in throughout the day on the trainings as well. So
Yeah, last year Shannon took us to a great spot out on a lake to go and teach my class, and I knew exactly where she was taking me. I love that spot.
yep,
We got last year was like epic snow everywhere, so I
awesome.
mean it was just like we were in like 4 feet of powder. It was awesome. Loved it.
Awesome, awesome. So everybody watching, make sure if you got a thought to register, go in and get registered here as soon as you can to get in on this still. And then Rick, the next thing we're going to talk about is that you didn't just magically appear today all ready to roll, trained up, and teaching
No.
classes. Like you've had a journey, and especially the last several years has been quite a journey, I might say. If you want to take us through a little bit of 3-4 years ago when this concept of a safer course came to be and you wanted to pursue your avalanche education, let's talk
Mhm.
through kind of the steps you've done to get there and maybe some of the folks who supported you along the way.
So, and that's one thing I wanted to go and bring up. It's like when we talk about like people, what you can go and do is kind of help people like me as like when the Avalanche Alliance have their sweepstakes and stuff.
Yep.
Um, I was part of the Avalanche Alliance's or it's actually the John Ferrian Scholarship Fund this year, which helped me out take one of my courses. And I guess I'll explain a little bit what my courses were and then and how I ended up to where I'm at now. I started out, I think 4 years ago. I actually one of the guys actually won an Area 1 course through John Ferrian Live. Another one of our guys actually, because I was in a group of 3 people, one of them actually applied for a scholarship fund through Erie. And I met Aaron McCarthy from All American Heroes, and he actually sponsored me to go into my Area 1 course. And that was with Brian Lundstedt at the Rabbit Ears. And then through that whole process, I'm getting to know what Erie was all about. And I got to take a second Erie course with All American Heroes again. I decided that, I wanted to be, I see that, I don't know, I'm kind of like a numbers guy. And I started like reading all like the avalanche deaths and how people were getting hurt and stuff like that. And then I started thinking to myself, like, well, I could, I love doing the paramedic thing. I think I got a kind of a niche in the business, and I started altitude sickness. Um, as I was starting that, I wanted to go and further my education with ARI, so that's when I took my rescue and my ARI 2 class, and I think that was about 2 years ago. So it's like it's a progression thing. Like every year, like I took one course, and then a year later I took another course. Well, then like last year I took like a Pro 1 course,
Nice.
and that is actually setting me up to become a professional area instructor.
Yeah.
So now I got 3 years down, and like now this year that just came up, I just took my ITC course. That's an instructor training course that was in Halfway, Oregon. So it's kind of like one of those like show one, do one, teach one. I kind of did the show one on like You know, like they were showing me how they're going to do stuff on like a level 1, and then in level 2 now I'm doing one. I'm like I'm digging pits and I'm like checking the snowpack and I'm making decisions on where we're going to be going riding and learning how to read maps and everything. You know, my pro 1 is just like it's 5 days of just intense, like learning everything that you learn, and we're learning about weather patterns. We're going out and or we're figuring out the moisture content of snow.
Yeah.
You know, and we're tracking the weather and like all the avalanches and everything. And so like it's just like you're beating yourself like with all this information,
Yeah.
and now it's starting to make all sense.
Yeah.
This year was my ITC course, and now this is the course where I'm going to learn on how to teach my level 1, my level 2, and my rescue courses. So they give me all the material and how I'm going to go teach these courses and starting to become a good instructor. Now for the course of this next couple of months, I get the next month off, so I'm going to be working with Brian Lundstedt. I'm going to be working with Matt Entz, hopefully, and I'm going to be shadowing classes and getting ready to start teaching my own courses and get to my Pro 2 status, which will be next year.
Nice.
So everybody's like, you know, these area instructors, they don't just sit there and they kind of like show up. You know, they're not just like there's like a lot of pro riders that do it. There's a lot of education that goes along with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
it's
about like just you and everybody's got a slightly different journey, but I mean, you now are almost 4 years into
4 years into it.
Yeah, 4 years into it, and you're not yet certified to become an instructor yet. And so I think sometimes there's kind of this little rumor mill sometimes around the industry that you know, these area instructors just show up with no experience and they're just certified and they're, you know, total BS, right? Like I wouldn't be affiliated and I would not be affiliated in supporting a program where we didn't have educated professional people doing what they need to do. And so
I could have a bachelor's degrees by now in something else, you know, but it's like you know, it's like with my safer course, this is a passion of mine, you know. I'm going to be in the Midwest for a while, and I'm like one of these people, I literally read all the avalanche reports.
That's awesome.
I know on how people are passing away and so like our people are getting hurt, and you can mitigate it by education, riding smart, getting good instructors out. And I think you know, I was fortunate enough that I've always been really fortunate that I've always been riding with good riders that have been really safe. A lot of people don't have that.
Yep.
You know, and it's like you know,
well, so much of it all is just and I say this carefully, so hear this whole thing out, not you, Rick, but just everybody who's listening. Is, you know, it's literally just kind of an awareness and culture, right? It's that thing where, you know, and I don't mean awareness in the standpoint of you go get an awareness class. What I mean is awareness about you keep it in the forefront of your mind constantly, right? Like as a rider, like there's not one day that I don't go up into the mountains of riding where I don't make reading the avalanche forecast part of my routine, right?
Right.
There's not a ride I go on that I don't have a beacon check, shovel beacon probe with me. We're doing radio checks. We're talking about a route plan for that day, where we're going to go, where we're not going to go, what's the risk today, what's the weather for the day. It's just that whole idea of like, you know what, the more prepared we are and the more kind of quote unquote anal we are about like being safe, the more fun we can just go have, because now I know the group I'm with is in a good mindset to be thoughtful and be safe and not put themselves into a really stupid situation in the first place. And then heaven forbid we do get into a situation or come across somebody who is in a situation, we now are also part of the solution, not part of the problem, you know, to help with the rescue or whatever else. Right. And so it's something I take super seriously, and I hope everybody who watches, you guys kind of, that's what I mean by this culture and this, you know, this awareness of just being kind of thoughtful about it every time you go out. And so now, including avalanche education, the safer classes, you know, I've done wilderness first aid classes in the back and stuff too. So
I also got my Wolfer class this summer too.
That's so it's awesome. Like that's a big deal. Congrats.
It is a big deal. It was a great class. You know, and that was another thing too. Is like you know, I got asked when I walked into that class. It's like you know, are you going to learn anything from this class? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And because like with Milwaukee County, I live by regulations and rules and, you know, algorithms and stuff like that, and I can only do so much. I had a total blast in that class. I learned a lot. That's you know, cool. It was once again, I was with people that are like, they're so well traveled. My instructor has been in like 32 different countries or 20 countries. super knowledgeable. It's great stories and stuff. like one of the things that got, and I didn't get going bring up like I say I always get to ride with good people.
Yep.
My buddy Scott Sikowitz, that's the cop that I used to sit there and hang out with. He's now living in Alpine, Wyoming.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to give a shout out for him. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now with him. My buddy Jason, that was he kind of took a little step away from the business for a while and stuff like that because he's got 3 young kids, and I keep trying to drag him back into it. Maybe I'll get him in a couple more years.
Yeah.
But it's been just such a great experience. I've got to meet so many people.
That's awesome.
So
good for you. Well, and there's a way that everybody who's watching likely has already helped this whole journey that you've been on of, like you've been able to benefit from some of these scholarships that are in place,
That's
whether
right.
it be, the Live Large Universe scholarship program at Erie that, supported. There's been other benefiting, programs through other programs too. But, how is it, Rick, that people who are watching either have or can in the future support the industry becoming safer and safer and safer, right? We talked a little about it before the show, but go ahead and tee it up for everybody.
So, and that's like one of the big things. Like,
people when they have like the Avalanche Alliance have their sled giveaway and stuff, and you always kind of wonder what happens to the money that you go and you donate or go and you buy a couple tickets for that sled. They generate a lot of money that goes to Erie and the educational system. In fact, this was the first year that I applied for a scholarship through John Farron that goes through Erie and stuff like that, which was part of that. It helped me pay for part of my education. And that's what people got to remember. It's like, for one thing, to get to the level that I'm at right now, it's like taking my ITC course and working on getting like my pro status or my instructor's thing, it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just throw it out there. Like those pro courses are in the neighborhood, if not over, but in the ballpark of about $2,000 to go through a course like that, right? It's like $1,800. It's even higher now. Jeez, like I said, it's like probably $2,500. Probably not
it's
even
like
counting your lodging.
$2,200.
Yeah. And so
and that's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yep.
It's the whole thing. The course is like about $2,200. Luckily enough, because usually I drive out there. Scott had an extra sled, so I flew in, to Jackson Hole. We drove out there, and then we're there for a week.
Yeah.
Basically, so like food, lodging, gas money, and I'll purpose it. I got a scholarship for $1,000. That's huge for me.
Well, Rick, I sit here as you tell this story, and I get like this, the tingles, like just thinking about what a simple idea. Like, think about this: 5.5. This coming, what is it? March, April, I think it is roughly, will be my 6-year anniversary of doing these live shows. Like, it's crazy to think that I've been doing it over 5 years, almost 6 years. And along the way, this idea of I just want to make snowmobile safety and education fun and entertaining, right? Like that was my goal when I started this. And then a little bit down the road, all of a sudden we started doing like Live Large merchandise, shirts and hats and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to just do that. Not looking to make any money off this stuff, but people were wanting some logoed shirts and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I'll start a scholarship program. And that idea, announcing it on one show, turned into this massive snowball effect. Like it was literally a conversation that I had with Matt Schabaum from what's the name of their business again out in Alpine? Do you remember? Is it? I can't remember. The Mountain Riding Lab. It's the Mountain Riding Lab.
Oh, Mountain Riding, yes.
Yep, the Mountain Riding Lab group. So Rick, not Rick.
Matt.
Too many names. Matt Schabaum is the one. Him and I had a conversation right after that first episode where I announced that I wanted to do these scholarships, and he's the one that said, "Hey, I really think you should, get in touch with Erie. I know they're really looking to do something like this. I think it'd be a great partnership." So within that week or two, I got in touch with Erie. That conversation started. We announced that partnership, and then I don't know how many months later it was, all of a sudden John from Climb reached out to me in a conversation we were having when I was in Idaho, and he's like, hey, I like what, So this whole thing has just snowballed, and now it's become the annual Avalanche Alliance sweepstakes where we give away sleds and sometimes trucks and sled decks and all these other things that we give away, and people wonder if it's real. And it is, right? So we give away these actual prizes. We raise money. This year we raised a little over $130,000.
Which is huge.
We'll probably net around $100,000 or so, after we, pay for all the prizes and the shipping and all that crap, getting it all taken care of, the logistics. But $30,000 to $50,000 per year has been going to Erie for these scholarships that go directly to users like yourself and others. And then we now are spending the bulk of the money going out to grants for avalanche centers. And so all the avalanche centers
which is
that we all
huge
use.
For that.
Yeah, because there's weather stations going up, there's new riding areas, like Island Park. Idaho, right, is one of
Yep.
the most popular riding destinations like anywhere, just outside of West Yellowstone, Montana. Up until a couple of years ago, they didn't have a dedicated forecasting team in
Yep.
that area. Now they
Yeah,
do because of the funding that they got from these programs. So it's so cool to see what happens.
and that's the thing, because like even like because I ride alpine a lot, that's Dan Adams territory and stuff.
Yep.
And it's like the Scott being out there, he's already submitted a bunch of like avalanche reports.
Yep.
And it's good to have people that are taking these courses that know what they're going and doing. They're digging snow pits, they're submitting their findings to for avalanche reports and stuff like that, and they're making our sport safer.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the culture and the evolution change that's happened in the industry over the last 5-6 years. And I'm honored to be a small part of it. Right? I mean, it's been a team effort with so many different people, and you're part of that team now. Like, you're becoming part of this team and part of this solution of like how we make this sport of backcountry snowmobiling as safe as it can be. So
it's like they always say it kind of takes a village and stuff. John, you were like one of the first people. Like, I called you up one day out of the blue. I'm like, hey, I'm this guy. I got this idea for a first aid kit. I want to start these classes and stuff. And just like being able to get a chance to be on your show and stuff has helped me out huge.
Yep.
And I think you're going to bring up like Aaron McCarthy from All American Heroes.
Yeah.
Think about on how he started. He won a sled. He has a whole foundation now. I mean, it's always kind of cool because like they had the sled giveaway down at the Jackson Hole Hill Climbs, and my logo's on the sled. I'm like, I can't believe I have my logo on there.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
I can't. So it's been for me, it's been a whirlwind. This has been like the snowmobiling community, especially like the mountain sledders and stuff like that, have been nothing but supportive. And everywhere I go, people are just great. Everybody's always willing to help out. Why wouldn't I want to go? Why wouldn't I want to go and do whatever I can to go and help out my fellow sledders by like giving them information on where they could go get like their avalanche education, a safer course, 1-2 rescue, and why wouldn't I want to become a part of an organization that's been helping so many people?
Yep.
So
cool.
that's been kind of my journey with the whole thing. It's been a great experience.
Well, I'm a little offended that there's been two different references. You've got one is your rescue dummy that you've named John, and you just talked about how it takes a village, and I think you're implying that I'm the village idiot. I was the first one to come to the village.
The only reason that dummy got named John is because you're the one that this safer course probably would not even have been a thing if I would have been put on the spot by you and Brian Lundstedt as like, hey, he's going to come out here and teach a course. And be it that's something I always wanted to go and do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been put on the spot if it would have happened.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, I was on Boondock Nation with my safer course. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I never thought that stuff was going to happen.
Nope, absolutely.
So it's like, when I say like it takes a village, it's like every step along the way, it's been like a little like steps for me. I hope I can keep it going. I have a new first aid kit that came out, by the way.
Look at that! It's petite. The altitude sickness petite. That's awesome. It's gonna fit in my backpack way better now, right?
It'll be on the website soon.
There you go.
But it's like one of those things. Like I talk about on like the people feedback that bought like first aid kits, and you and everybody else. Yep. They are responsible for the smaller kit.
Awesome.
They said they wanted something smaller, and it's taken about a year to get it up. It's amazing how long it takes to go and produce something.
Amen.
But it's like, everybody's like, oh, it must be great because like you got this business and stuff like that. It pays for gas. Yeah. It pays for gas. It pays for my education. It really does.
Yeah, no, I mean, similar to you, like I think back to, when this all started 5, now almost 6 years ago, and to think of like what a vision was for what we could do in the industry, and to sit here now today talking about it 5.5, almost 6 years later, of like what we've already accomplished and what still is yet to do. And I say we as in the entire community, because again, I'm a small part of it, you're a small part of it. There's so many cool people that are part of this overarching team of backcountry safety and education that keep making the whole entire sport better and better. So
well, let's face it, the sleds aren't getting any slower, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Rick, what do you think? Any final thoughts, any words, any topics that we didn't already cover that you want to squeeze in here before we wrap this up tonight?
No, I think like my big thing is like if you're looking to get educated, go to Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, take a look at their website. get a hold of Rich Ranch and stuff like that. It's a great organization. I'm happy to be part of it. I can't speak enough about Brian Lundstedt and what he's trying to go and accomplish.
Yeah.
And going into his story is a whole nother thing. I know he's been on before, so I'm not going to go through that.
Yeah, I'll just mention it quick. Is like Tyler's Backcountry Awareness is run by Brian Lundstedt, who named his business after his late brother, who passed away in an avalanche that Brian was also involved in too. Like him and his brother were out riding, and they had a terrible accident, and his brother didn't survive the accident. And Brian has basically made it his mission to honor his brother and to educate backcountry snowmobilers around the world, around the country for sure. And somebody who has that kind of a story and is involved in the industry, like their passion is like nobody else's, right? They're driven by love and the kindness that comes with having lost a loved one and trying to make a difference in the world, and with their namesake. So
and the instructors he's got with him now, with having Carl there and Matt and Mike, they're awesome instructors. And that is one thing, and maybe I should go and bring this up too. One thing I have gone and done is throughout my whole education, I've had all different instructors. Be it I always talk about Brian and through Tyler's Backcountry Awareness and stuff. And the reason why I kind of align myself with him, because he's been, I love his story. He's so passionate about it. That's the kind of person I want to be with, and that's the person I want to go and help. But all my other classes have been through other instructors. I think it's been a great experience to see how the people teach that class, and try to, I'm working on becoming an instructor, so I need to find my own way of teaching in class. So I want to bring everything I learned from those instructors and bring it into my own personality into it.
Very cool.
And I think that's all.
I think some people I say have a pretty good personality. So
yep.
I guess hopefully we'll find out.
I think you're cut out for it for sure. Like you've been a friend of mine now for years, and I'm always grateful every opportunity we have. And I love most people don't know this, but probably every other month at the longest, I get a phone call from Rick. It's like, hey John, how's it going? Just checking in, seeing how you're doing. And we get a hold of each other once in a while, and it's awesome. I love the fact that you reach out every now and then and just check in.
It's kind of like it's a bromance. Feels like my John Dummy doesn't sit there talk to me and stuff like that. So I gotta I actually put the phone on him, and I talk to my dummy, he talk back to me. So it's kind of like,
on this awkward note, I think it's time to wrap up the show. That's awesome. But that's awesome.
I just want to say, I guess for me, I just want to say thanks for everybody that's been supporting me throughout this. It's been quite the journey and stuff like that. But at the same rate, it's been a journey for me. Go get the education and stuff like that. I always bring up my daughter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That it's the big reason why I do what I do, because I want to come home and I want to spend time with my daughter.
Yep.
The
people who work in this industry, including you, don't do it out of like, oh, they're going to go get rich, making a bunch of money, getting training classes. No. Like, far from it, right? Like most people, that do avalanche education all have regular other jobs. They just kind of do this seasonally and kind of their off days and that kind of thing too. But it's everybody who does it's a project of passion is why they do it. So.
But I just kind of thought something, and I'll let you go on. It's like we have like a guy that's gonna be heading out west. His name is TJ. He's one of Scott's friends and stuff like that. And I actually met his wife at Heydays, and they have a kid on the way and stuff. And she's like, she's concerned about her husband coming out riding in avalanche territory, because Alpine's got a lot of avalanche territory. And just telling her like what me and Scott we do, because Scott's gonna be navigating us like he always does. Just assuring her that we know what we're doing, that we're gonna be. He's coming in. He's riding with safe people, and he's gonna have the equipment, and he's gonna, we're gonna get him the education.
Yep.
And that's what this is all about. It's like it's to go ride another day, and I hope people understand that. I'm on this program, trying to sit there and push these area programs, because I want people to go ride another day.
Amen.
So.
Amen. All right, everybody. You heard it here first and last and again. So thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Rick, God bless you. Appreciate you being on here tonight again. Thanks, everybody. And don't forget, if I'm going to remind everybody, Live Large, that whole logo that's over my shoulder back here, live life to the fullest, make the most of every day, and make a difference to others. So if you're not doing that, you're not living large.
And get another name from Other Dummy.
and get another name for the dummy. We got to look through it. I think I saw a few different recommendations. Rick, you can go in the comments, see if any of them you like, and chat with everybody in the comments after the show's done here and let everybody know what you thought of them supporting you. So, all right, everybody.
Okay.
God bless you. Live large. Have an amazing night. Rick, you hang tight.
Okay, bye.